First, there was Starlink. Now, Telegram. Two decisions that, viewed separately, might seem technical or political, but together they form something much more serious, a direct blow to the nervous system of the Russian army in Ukraine. Because it needs to be said bluntly, the Russian army doesn't fight thanks to a modern and robust command and control system. It fights thanks to improvised solutions. And those solutions had two fundamental pillars: civilian satellite connectivity and instant messaging not controlled by the state. Today, those two pillars are collapsing almost simultaneously. The Starlink cut. Back to the chaos of 2022. In recent weeks, as Paco has already reported on other programs, multiple sources on the front lines have confirmed massive shutdowns of Starlink terminals in areas occupied by Russia.
Мы за одну ночь опустились в каменный век, блядь. Вот это видео я выложу только тогда, когда смогу. То есть Илон Маск отключил на всем фронте интернет. То есть, блядь, мы не можем пользоваться Старлинком. Теперь пользоваться Старлинком могут те люди, которые подтвердят свою личную информацию, я так понял. То есть хохлопитоны могут без проблем им пользоваться, но не мы. У нас он еще 4 февраля до 12 часов ночи был интернет.
We're not talking about an isolated failure. We're not talking about Ukrainian propaganda. We're talking about a technical reality. Starlink is not designed to support Russian military operations, and its use in occupied territory is vulnerable to restrictions. The result is immediate. Russian units that depended on Starlink to link with their commands, to transmit real-time video from drones, to coordinate forward observers with artillery, suddenly are left without a network. And here we need to understand something key. The Russian military communication system has not effectively replaced those civilian solutions. Many units still use old radios, with poor encryption, constant interference, and a chronic shortage of modern equipment. Without Starlink, many locations are left completely isolated. This already happened in 2022, and the consequences were clear. Columns advancing without clear orders, artillery firing late or poorly, units that didn't know what was to their right or left, and a brutal increase in casualties due to sheer lack of coordination. We already know the story, and Russia seems poised to repeat it. Here comes the second blow. The official blocking of Telegram in Russia is not just censorship, it's an operational amputation. Since 2022, Telegram has become the informal command infrastructure of the Russian military, not by doctrine, by necessity. Let's look at some real, concrete examples. Russian artillery groups received coordinates directly in closed Telegram chats, sent by observers or drone pilots. Assault units used messaging groups to coordinate advances building by building in urban combat. FPV drone operators sent images, corrections, and confirmations via Telegram in near real time. Even medical evacuations were organized through instant messaging when standard systems failed. Telegram wasn't just for fun and contact with the rear, it was command and control. Even the most effective militias on the Russian side, such as the former Wagner Group, openly acknowledged that Telegram was key to their tactical operations. Wagner operated as a flexible, fast, and decentralized network. Telegram was its glue. That's why, when the Kremlin threatened to restrict the platform on other occasions, even pro-Russian war correspondents strongly opposed it. They knew what was at stake. Without Telegram, the front becomes slow, clumsy, and much bloodier. Now we put the pieces together. Starlink is starting to disappear from the Russian front. Telegram is being blocked within Russia. The result is clear. The cycle of combat is broken. Observe, guide, decide, act. All of this depends on fast and reliable communication. If these measures are strictly applied, the impact is immediate. Units that don't receive orders on time artillery that misses windows of opportunity, drones flying without real integration with other weapons, isolated assault groups, synchronization errors, and more casualties. A modern army cannot fight without reliable communications. It can hold out for a few days, then it deteriorates. And Russia has already shown that when it deteriorates, it pays the price on the front lines. Herein lies the political key. The Kremlin prioritizes internal control, even when that weakens its military capabilities abroad. Telegram isn't being blocked for national security reasons. It's being blocked because the regime has lost control of the narrative, because Telegram was revealing defeats that could no longer be hidden. Logistical chaos, dependence on foreign technology, increasingly open internal criticism. The regime doesn't fix the problems, it silences those who point them out, and so Russia is moving toward an increasingly closed information model. More rigid, more fragile, a system where only the official version exists, and everything else is considered extremism, a kind of digital North Korea, but in the midst of a high-intensity war. In a technological war, censorship is not neutral. It has immediate consequences on the battlefield. When a state blocks words, when it severs links, when it sacrifices communications for political control, it is because it can no longer maintain the facts. And that price is not paid in Moscow, it is paid in the trenches.